everyone, welcome back to another day in the 100 days graphic design challenge. So very quickly, I'm using these 2480 by 1755 pixels. We are designing a brochure, a trifold brochure. So this is what I have. The next thing I'm going to do is to divide this particular canvas into three. So I click my rectangle tool here, and then I'm just going to draw. I'm going to draw this here. Okay, I'll just leave the color as black, and I'll drop my tool. I'll hold on to my alt, and I'll drag this way, and I will change this color to this, and then I'll hold my alt and drag this way, and I will change it to another color, let's say arch. Then I'm just going to click on these three, and then I'll hold my shift and I'll drag it this way so that it will cover up this canvas. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to drop my tool here, and then I'm just going to click on this. I head over to layers. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to give it a gradient. So I click it this way. I click here, I double click on it, and I'll change it this color. I'll hit enter. Then for this one, I'll double click as well, and I'll change it to this particular color here. I'll hit enter. Then I'm going to take my angle to 0 degrees. Okay, so I just take it to 0 and I hit enter. So we have something like this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to head over to my resources, and I will first of all bring in this and this. I will drag it into my Photoshop like this. I'm going to drop it here, and I'm going to hit enter, and I'll hit enter. Then I'll just head over to my layers, and I'll close up the eyes of this one. I'll pick this one and I'll bring it here. I'll make sure it's aligned. I'll just drag it down like this. I'm going to hit enter. So we have something like this. So very quickly, I'm just going to zoom in. So this is what we have. And the next thing I'm going to do is to adjust this to make sure that everything is inside this particular first rectangle. So I'm just designing the first page now. This is the first page. You can click the front page as well. I'll hit enter, and then I'll take this to where my rectangle is, and then I'm just going to create clip mask. I'll right click and I'll click to this. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust this to make sure it's at the center. So I have something like this. The next thing I'm going to do is to click here, and I will change this to overlay to have something like this. Okay, so this is what we have here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to open up my icon. This is it, my logo. I'm just going to bring it this way. I'll reduce the size. I'll hit enter, and then I'm just going to change the color to white. So I just click here, color overlay, and I'll change it to white. So after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to write my text. I'm just going to say, I'll just reduce this. Okay. Then I'll change this. I'm using Alon, and I'll be using bold for this one. Okay. So I'm just going to type my text here. I'm going to say noodles. Then I'll drop my tool. I'll increase this, and I'll bring it this way. I'll hit enter. Then I'm just going to change the color to white like this. Okay, and I'll just type Haven here. I'll increase this. I'll bring it this way. I will hit enter. Then I will change this. I'm going to use medium for it. Okay, to have something like this. I'm just going to adjust this. I think the space in between is a bit much. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at 0. Enter. Then for this one, I'm also going to leave it at 0 as well. Enter. Okay, I'm just going to change this to capital letters. I'll click here. Okay, then I'm just going to increase this so that it starts where this one does. Okay, then I'm going to click this. I'll head back to my layers. I'm going to click this, shift this, and then I'll reduce it a bit. Okay, then I'm going to click this and I'll shift with this, and then I'll just click here to align. So I'm just going to hit enter. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add something beneath here. So very quickly I'll bring in my tool, a rectangle tool, something like this way. I'll just drop my tool and then I'm going to adjust it. I'll just give it a bit of a stroke, a bit of round edge. I'm going to give it 8. No, 8. Enter. I'll give it a stroke. Okay, enter. Then I'm going to remove this. So we have something like this, and then I'm just going to say pick noodles Korean style. So after I'm done with that, I'll make sure it's at the center of my rectangle. Shift this, Ctrl G, and then I'm just going to increase this. And I'm just going to click on this one, Ctrl T. I'll just increase this. Okay, and I'll bring it here. So we have something like this. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is to head over to my file. I'm done with page 1, so I head over to file, Ctrl N, create new. I'm using this. I'm going to click create. As you all know that this has 6 different pages, so I'll be designing 3 pages here and I'll be designing 2 pages at the other one to complete it 6. So what I'm going to do is to click this, shift this, I hold my shift key and I drag it this way to have this. Then for this one, I'm also going to add a gradient color to it. So very quickly, click here and I'm going to add my text. I'm going to say about us. I'll change this to semi-bold. Okay, so we have something like this. I'll make sure it's at the center of this rectangle. I'm just going to zoom in. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in a rectangle here where I'm going to add my image. So I have something like this. I'm just going to use my warp tool to adjust it. So I have something like this. I'm just going to hold my shift and I'll take it up a little bit. I'll hit enter. Then I take it down to this particular place so that this rectangle will be above it. Then I head over to my resources and I'll bring this in. Okay, so I'm just going to hit enter. So I have something like this. I'll right click and I'll create clip mask. Then I'm just going to add my text very quickly. So I click here and then I head over to type and I'll paste this. Okay, so I'm just going to head over to properties. I'll increase this. I'll reduce this. I'll give it medium. Then I'm going to increase the spacing in between. Okay, I'll increase the size a little bit more. then I'm going to click this. So I'm just going to reduce this to regular. Okay, so we have something like this. I'm going to adjust this rectangle. Okay, let me just delete this and I'll draw another one here. Okay, I'll drop my 2 here. I'll give it a color. Okay, then I'll click it. I'll right click, warp, and I'm going to adjust this. So I'm just going to drop my 2. I'll head over to my layers. I'll open up the eyes of this image. I'll right click and I'll click to this. Okay, so we have something like this. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to head on to page 3. So I click, I hold my alt, holding my shift. I'll just drag over to this place. I'm going to leave this color of the rectangle as it is, and I'm going to type bestsellers. Okay, so I have something like this. I'm just going to draw my circles here. I hold my shift and I drag this way. So after I drag, next thing I'm going to do is to change this color. I'll just bring this at the center. Then I'll click here, make sure it's at the center of this particular rectangle. I'm going to give it a stroke, white stroke. So I'm just going to leave it at 8. Okay, so I have something like this, and then I'm going to bring in the tiny rectangle at the top here, this way. Then I'm going to change the color, the fill. I'll give it a gradient color. So after I'm done, I'm just going to give it a stroke. So I just click here, I give it white, and then I'll change this from 0 to 5. Enter. Okay, 5 is okay. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'll just reduce this a little bit, not too much. Okay, so I have something like this. The next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my image for this. Okay, but before then I'm going to click on this and I'll control and click on this, Control G. Okay, then I'm just going to bring in my image. I'll hit enter. Okay, so I'll just drop this here. I'll reduce the size. Then I'm going to hit enter and keep it to this particular ellipse like this. So I have something like this for the first one. Okay, so I'm just going to put in my price here. I'm going to say 14.99. okay, so I'll change this to medium. So after I'm done with that, I'm just going to write the name of the mail. I'll change this to semi-bold. Okay, and I'm just going to bring in a little line of text here. So I'll reduce this to regular. So I'm just going to increase this a little bit. So I have this and this. I'm just going to click my Ctrl T. I'll reduce this. I'll bring it this way. I'm going to hit enter and I'll click Ctrl J to duplicate group 1. I'll do Ctrl T and I'll drag holding my shift. Okay, same thing. I'm going to do hit enter and I'm going to do Ctrl J and I'll do Ctrl T and I'll use my shift and I'll drag. So we have something like this. So I'm just going to click the three to increase them, shift this and this, I'm just going to increase them. So the next thing I'm going to do very quickly is to change the names of this one, and I'm going to change their price tags. So I'll just do that very quickly. So after I'm done with this particular page, this is page 3, so I'm done with it. I head over to this page 4. So I'm just going to head over to properties, and I'll give it the same gradient color. Okay, very quickly I'll take this to 0, enter, and then I'm just going to click here, and I'll give it this, enter, then I'll click here and I'll give it this, enter. Okay, so we have something like this. Next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my image. So I just head over to, I click these two and I'll drag it into Photoshop. Okay, so I'm just going to take it up. I click this, I drag it up like this. Okay, so this is what we have. Then I'm just going to close up the eyes of this one. I'll bring this one into my rectangle like this, enter. I'm going to clip it to my rectangle, so I take it down until I find it. This is it. So I'll right click and I'll clip it to this. Okay, so we have something like this. Then I'm just going to hit enter. I'll head over to properties. I'll just head over to this place and I'm going to give it overlay. Okay, okay, I'll just click on this and adjust it a bit more. Then after that, I'm just going to click on this bestsellers. I'll use my Alt and I'll hold my Shift and I'll drag it this way. I'm going to say chef special. And I'm just going to bring in my rectangle tool. Okay, I just drag it over this place. Okay, like this. I'm just going to give it 8 and I'll change this to white. Okay, and I'll give it a curved edge 8. Okay, so I'm just going to drop my tool to see what we have. Okay, I think the stroke is too much. I'll reduce this to 6, enter. Okay, let's see 5, enter. So I'm just going to reduce this to make it slimmer. Okay, this. Then I have this rectangle. I'm going to hit enter. I'll just increase the curved edge a little bit more. Okay, then I head over to layers and I'll open up the eyes of this image. I'll take it up like this. Okay, then I'll bring it this way. So I'll hit enter and I'll clip it to this to have something like this. Okay, So this is what we have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to just adjust this rectangle a little bit more. I'll hold my shift and I'll drag it up a little bit. So I'll just click on my image and I'll adjust it. Then I'm going to bring in a rectangle here. Okay, I'll give it a white color, and then I'll head over to properties and I'll change the stroke to have the same with the big rectangle. Okay, I'll just unclip this and I'll take this to 0 and I'll take this to 0. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my rectangle too. So I hold my so I just drag this like this. I'll give it a rounded edge, not too much. Then I'm going to change the color to this. Okay, take this one, enter. This is what we have. I'll give it a stroke as well, a white stroke. I'll take it to 3, and then I'm just going to give it white. Okay, so we have something like this. I'm just going to zoom in. I'll type my text. So I'm just going to adjust this rectangle a little bit. Okay, then I'll change this color to a brighter color. After that, the next thing I'm going to do is to add my text here. Okay, then I'll just duplicate this rectangle. Okay, I'll hold my shift, I'll drag it to this point, and then I'll change the color, the fill. I'll use a gradient. So I'll just add a price to this one here. So after I'm done with that, I'm just going to draw a small rectangle here. Okay, here I'm just going to say place an order today. Okay, fill, I'll give it a white stroke, take it to 5. I'll give it rounded edge. I'll reduce the stroke to 4 and I'll say place an order today. So I'm done with this particular page. Okay, So after I'm done with that, I'm just going to click on this image and I'm going to add a camera raw filter to it very quickly. After I'm done with that, I'm just going to click OK. So we have something like this. So now I'm done with page 2, 3, and 4. I head back to this place. I'm going to continue with page 5 and page 6 very quickly. So I'll change the color. So I'm just going to type our menu. Then I will increase this. I'll bring this here, then I'll bring in a rectangle here. I'll just change the color here. Okay, I'll use this. Then I'll bring in my text. I'll take it up. Okay. I'll give this a stroke. And I'm just going to add my text here. I'm going to add series of text in this place very quickly. So after adjusting and making sure the spaces in between are the same, I'm just going to bring in my ruler here. Okay. So I'll just drag this over, just a very tiny ruler. Okay, now change the color. I'll use white and I'll reduce the opacity to 50. Okay. So I'm just going to do that for all of these very quickly. So I just adjusted my text. It was looking too small. I just adjusted it. Okay, and I'll just head over to this place. I think this is the last page. So I'll just change it to this color. Okay. So I'll use this so that it will be the same thing with the one on page 3. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to draw my rectangle first. Okay. I'll create this, not too much. I'll remove the fill and I'll give it a white stroke. So I'm just going to type my text. So I'll reduce this. Okay. I'll increase this to bold. Now take this to this. Okay. This one as well. So after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to add my contact details. Okay. So with that, we have come to the end of this particular design. We have this page 1, and then from here page 2, 3, 4, and we are back to this one, 5 and 6. So thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.